Okay, thanks for joining today. Just going to give it a minute here to let everyone get settled in before we get started. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome. My name is Chris LeClaire. I'm the head of sales here at NFI Solutions. Really appreciate you being here today. We know your time is valuable, and we hope we're able to give you some valuable information that you can bring back to your practice, bring to your clients. Really, our objective here is to help you help your clients. So we really appreciate you joining us here today. We are joined from Gentle Shepherd Care. Really happy to have them here. Gentle Shepherd Care provides a variety of long-term care services, including life care planning, caregiver coaching, elder care management, and in-home care services. We all know long-term care is a huge question for many Americans. Who provides it? Where is it provided? And how is it going to get paid for? So I think if you're on the call today, it's something that's on your mind. It's something that maybe is on the mind of many of your clients. We have 10,000 people a day aging to 65 into Medicare. So, we know that this is a growing need in our country. So we're really happy to have Emma Soy here today to join us. Emma's the CEO and founder of the Gentle Shepherd Care. Prior to founding this company, Emma was a consultant for healthcare technology companies, leading strategic processes, operational assessments, establishing program governance, advising on electric medical records adoption, and acting as a liaison between tech developers, doctors, and healthcare workers. So she's really done a lot and been seen and done a lot. She comes to us today with a wealth of knowledge that I'm really excited to have her share with us. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Emma. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me today. And thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. And hopefully we're going to be spending probably a couple, I don't know, 30 minutes or so talking about aging care. And hopefully I bring some great information. As Chris said, my name is Emma Soy. I am the owner and CEO of Gentle Shepherd Care. I started this home care agency about 5 years ago with the aim of helping the older adult age with dignity wherever they called home. And what I discovered was that the standard of care that we currently offering our aging parents are really substandard. My reasoning for also starting this home care company is because I've watched my grandmother live to be 108. This picture that I have here, she was 107. She lived to be 108. She lived with her daughter, and she died right in her home. My grandmother never had any medications. She died peacefully in her own home. I always say my grandmother kind of fade away. She never was in the hospital, and she lived. And so I saw how my grandmother lived. She was gardening when she was 100. And when I saw that, I thought that is what a quality of life, and that is how everyone should age. Of course, everybody would love to go to bed. Everybody would love to age, go to bed, and not wake up, and that's how everybody would love to do it. But I'm here to tell you that it can happen, but it doesn't happen by chance. And so my mission is to really change the way we care for our aging loved ones today, one family at a time. I really would love to see our older adults age with dignity, live out loud, and age gracefully wherever it is that they call home. The problem is currently the current elder care programs that we have address just a few things, just short term needs. versus long-term quality care. The focus is everybody waits until something happens when mom falls. And so when mom falls, that's when everybody wants to do something about it. Um, and by the time you want to do something about it, it's almost too late because uh, a lot of the preventative care that could have been done is it cannot be done because there's so much stress. And so most people don't plan aging. What I also discovered in the past 5 years is that most older adults have a funeral plans. They buy plots, they have funeral plans, but they have no plan for aging care. If you ask any older person where would they like to age, everybody says, I want to age at home. And that's great. That's a great vision. That's a great dream. But it doesn't happen without planning. So I find that most people do not plan. And so my aim, not only to help older adults to age gracefully with dignity, quality care, but also planning. And so that is that is what my mission is to look at how our older adults are living. Currently, the standard of care that we offer to our older adults make them decline really fast. Uh, Once someone start to decline, by the time someone falls, they never go back. Statistics says 85% of older adults who falls and go to the hospital, they never go back to where they were. And so in the state, physically, mentally, or wherever they were. So if they're not that resilient, they keep declining and decline. And so before you know it, they are doing nothing but just sitting, watching the walls, and not really living. And I don't think that's the kind of aging process that we want for our loved one or even for ourselves. I always say to all my caregivers, care for people the way you want people to care for you because we all going to age. What goes around comes around. And so take care of people if you want to be cared for yourself. And I see it the same way. If you would love your loved ones to age well, not only you want to have that vision for yourself, because the way they age, that's the way you're going to age too. Just because someone is older, that does not mean they cannot thrive. Just because someone is older, that doesn't mean they should stop moving. Just because someone is older, that doesn't mean they shouldn't be in society. They should just be placed somewhere in a memory care unit, somewhere, lock them up somewhere, just because someone is aging. The reason why most older adults are declining so fast is because of lack of proper care. Now, the standard of care today says this is what we do: feed me. Everybody wants to make sure that our older adults are eating. They feed me, they change me, make me clean, make sure I'm clean, make sure I take my medication that they give me because of my chronic diseases, and make sure that person is safe. That's the care. That is the standard of care. Now, I run a home, when I started this home care company, then that's what not only all of the home care companies are providing, and that's what I was providing. And when I started to provide that, I thought, wow, we could do better. There are so much more that we could do so that our older adults, they don't just age, but they can also thrive. And you will hear me say that word over and over again: thriving and quality of life, because that's my vision for older adults. The reason the older adults are declining so fast is because of, number one, medication. Most older adults are on tons of medications and they do not manage very well. Why don't they manage them very well? Because when an older adult, most older adults have more than one doctor. They have a primary care doctor. They have a specialty doctor for their hearts. They have a specialty doctor for their lungs. They have a specialty doctor for their sugar. They have every disease they have a doctor for that disease. And so all of them are giving them medications, and none of them are talking together. That's one of the issues we have in healthcare. It's silo. People are not talking. The other reason that older adults are declining, besides medication, is sleep. Um, Most older adults you talk to have issue with sleep, and when our sleeps are not managing well, that we have no idea what that would do to our bodies. The circadian rhythm of an older adult, when it's off, that is why you see older adults always sleeping during the day. They are dozing off during the day because they're not sleeping at night, and so that turns that clock, that circadian rhythm clock, is just turned around. And so when that happens, that affect our health in so many ways. Mobility. Most older adults, they sit a lot. Why? They are in pain. We don't manage the pain that they are dealing with. The arthritis, not just arthritis, just the process of aging, build up a lot of inflammation in the body that makes people hurt all over. And because they are hurting, they are going to sit. They're not going to want to move because they can't. And we don't address it. We don't address the reason for their pain. And since we don't address their reason for their pain, it just comes. Everybody thinks it's okay for an older person to be dealing with aches and pains because they're old. Untrue. That is not true. And those are the reasons people decline so fast. The disease management. Most older adults have some kind of chronic disease. They'll have at least one or two or three. I call it the triplets. They'll have it. And that's why most of their medications will address that. Diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease, high cholesterol. These things, most older adults are taking medication for them, and they're not being managed properly. All we do is give a medication to manage the symptoms, but we don't manage the root of the problem. We don't go deep to help them manage the actual disease, why they have what they have. Nutrition is really huge in older adults. Most older adults are very low in magnesium, vitamin D. Their nutrients are really they lack of a lot of nutrients that we're not focusing on. Why? Just because they are aging. Just because you aging, that does not mean these things have to be ignored, but they are. Most older adults do not drink enough, so they are dehydrated. Example of this, I have Mr. Johnson. I changed the name, but it's one of my clients. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease a few years ago. He was struggling with severe tremors. So much tremors that makes life everyday tasks really difficult for him. Poor balance. He was falling frequently. And because he was falling and his balance was so bad, he wouldn't go out. He wouldn't want to do anything. So he stayed home and really isolated in depression. Isolation and depression is very huge. It's very big in the older adults. And everybody thinks that's what older people do. They get depressed and they get isolated because they no longer have friends to hang out with. So when we started to take care of him, the first thing we did was to look at his medications, just looking at medications that he was taking, comparing to his Parkinson's medications, how they were being managed. We also looked at his home and modified some of the area of the house. Most older adults their homes are very cluttered. They have a lot of things. They accumulated a lot of things over the years, and it becomes a hazard in the house. And frequent falls. Not only he's already having issue with poor balance, and he was falling. So we looked at the house. We looked at the medication. We looked at we started to do therapy, restorative therapy. We looked at all these key indicators: sleeping, nutrition. We looked at all of these things and optimize them, increase his nutrition, increase his hydration. The result was he started to move. He started to move more. He started to be having less and less falls and no falls. Started to eat better, gain weight, gain his energy back, and get him into a support group with other older adults that are going through some in the Parkinson's support group for Parkinson's patients. And you should see him. He's just living and thriving. And that's why I do what I do, because I know it works. I know it works. Another client of mine, he's 90 years old. He started to live alone because his wife needed to go to an assisted living. He's was with memory care issues, and so he stays home. But now he's not used being to be home by himself, and so because he's home by himself, he's isolated. He stopped eating, so the only thing he was eating was frozen meals. That's it, maybe once a day. And when we found him, when we admitted him, he had tons of pain in his joints. They were inflamed. He had edema in his legs, his feet, and he couldn't walk. Well, he couldn't walk because he's been eating all these frozen food that's full of salt. He's not managing his medication. He's depressed. He lives alone. He's by himself. And so when we came in, we started looking at all those elements that makes older adults to thrive, such as, again, nutrition was big, and so we optimized them. Manage his inflammation, pain management, and do therapy with him, and turn his life around. Just because he's 90, he's still living. That does not mean we need to forget about him and just let him decline so fast. Decrease his pain. We increase and improve his sleep, improve his overall well-being, improve his independence, start moving again, and giving him dignity, and joining families and activities, which makes the families really happy. And I don't want to. I could have story. I have stories and stories that I could share with you, such as Ellen. Pain medication management is huge in the older adults, because not only a lot of many older adults have a lot of medications. As they get older, it's hard for them to manage on their own. And so what you find is that they either under medicated or over medicated. They're not doing taking their meds the way they should be taking them, because they're forgetting. And so by the time a family member notices, it takes time. And so simple things like helping them to organize their medications, especially if they take a lot of them, is very important. So that was the case with Ellen when we found her. And all her chronic disease, she had the triplets, the diabetes, the hypertension, the high cholesterol. And they were all her numbers were off the chart, just because, yes, she was taking medication, but they were not being properly managed. And so when we took over, we started looking at that and start helping her to manage her medication, we turned her life around, created medication plans, start coordinating the care, coordinating her numbers, looking at the numbers, reporting the numbers to her doctor. Those are all the things that we were doing. They're very simple, but it needs to be focused on. Those things are they're not very scientific. It's we just need to identify the problem and optimize and focus and really help these people to live better. Simple thing as a medication management that you might think that's she should be able to do it. But why should she move to an assisted living just because she cannot manage her medication? She's getting older and she has lots of them. That's not a reason. We can help her do that right at home, especially if she wants to age in her own home. Pain management is huge with the older adults. Again, I think I said that before. Arthritis, the joint pains, the inflammation. Even if somebody doesn't have a specific disease that's affecting them, pain just come in with aging. But when it comes with aging, as someone age, they start having these kinds of different pain in the joints, in the back, a bone, all these kind of things. What is the cause of it? What is the reason? Not just because they're aging, there are deep reasons why people are having these kinds of things. Once you start, if you don't manage it, they just sit back and you just watch them. They just decline and decline, because one of the things older adults will do when they are in pain is not moving. And when you don't move, you lose it. And so when they start losing the ability, their mobility, and then they start decreasing their balance, and so now they start falling. Once they start falling, and that's it, they break a bone, they break a hip, they break something, and that's it. Once they start doing these kinds of things, going back and forth to the hospital, the um, frequency going back and forth to hospitals just make people decline faster and faster. And you can watch that. It's just a statistic. And once we help her to manage the pain, increase mobility with physical therapy, decrease the swellings, things just change for Miss Dorothy, and just living and just increase. This is a growing problem. Aging care in America is a growing problem, and the standard that we have currently is not helping. Most older adults, their children work. 61% of the general population is made up of employee family caregivers. They work and they are unable to help their loved ones. It's 1 out of 5 Americans by 2030 is going to be turning 65. The problem is not ceasing. Most older adults who have children who are who are working, companies provide EAP programs, but most in 2022, companies in America spend $4.5 billion in an EAP program, employee assistance programs. But most of that focus on substance abuse, mental health programs. That's great, but not the managing of elder care. And so this problem is just growing, is getting bigger. Where do we find a solution? Is this a population that we need to just turn our back on? Well, that's why Gentle Shepherd Care, we're raising the standard of care. We're looking at what is the care being provided. Since it's not providing quality of care, we are raising the standard of care by, number one, providing elder care planning the aging care, where we're going to age, how you're going to age, and how much it's going to cost. Planning, providing care management, being available to assist older adults with these issues, not waiting until they fall, not waiting until they're going back and forth, going to the hospital. If somebody is 70 and 80, even when they don't have any issues, that's the kind of people that we want to be able to help. Because when we can start early addressing these kinds of issues and pillars and optimizing the health of the older person, we can bring back the clock. And that is why we have this plan. And let me just compare the different care that we have. Number one, you have the standard of care currently for home care clients. Most older adults or family members, I've never had an older adult call me and ask me for care. First of all, they don't think they need care. So our clients are their families, the family caregivers, who are concerned about mom who's not taking her meds, or who's forgetting to eat, who's not showering, who's afraid to be alone. So family caregivers could. So the standard is currently someone will call my office and said, I need 4 hours of care for my mom, 5 days a week when I go to work. And this is what I want you to do for them. I want you to help them with activity of daily living. Make sure that they clean. Make sure they take a shower. When they get in the shower, they don't fall. Make sure that they do light housekeeping. meal preparation, medication reminders. If they need to go to the doctor, run errands and companion, be with them. That's the standard of care. That standard of care, which everybody is looking for, it costs people currently anywhere between $30 to $45 an hour, and most people cannot even pay that. A lot of people cannot even pay that because there was never a plan. And I'm amazed sometimes. Someone will call me, my mom is 90, and for the first time, they are hearing that the cost for this kind of care is $35 an hour. And so when I saw that this care does not give people quality, it gives just people keep declining with this kind of care. And that's when we started to we offer something better. We offered a standard care plus. The standard care plus, before someone even need help, before someone falls, before someone is running back and forth to the hospital, at the age of 70, 75, 80, I would love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you. The first thing that we do a complete assessment. We do the assessment not only looking at where you live, how you want to live, your health issues, your medication, but we also looking at biological and chronological age. Chronological and biological age is not the same. Someone could be 80 chronologically, but biologically they are 90 because of their whatever's going on with their health, whatever's going on with their organs. When I look at someone who's 80 but have a biological age of 90, the next thing that I do, well, they're going to behave. They're going to feel, even though they're 80, they're going to feel like they're 90. They're going to feel like they're 90. They're going to walk like they're 90. They're going to behave like they're 90. Well, what can I do for that? What we do, we look at that and we look at what is the cause of them being 90 when their actually chronological age is 80. We put together a longevity protocol for them to bring back the clock, to bring back the biological clock to the chronological age. When you can do that, that makes such a difference. And so that gives that person more strength, more vitality, and so they don't have to decline. Not everybody who's aging has to go move into an assisted living, but they have to move to an assisted living if they cannot be independent. So we try to help people be as independent as long as possible with our longevity protocols. We bring in technology in the care. Today, with today's technology, there are so many things that we could do to decrease inflammation, to decrease pain, to help with sleep, to help with nutrition, to help with hydration, to help with mobility for the older adults, not when they need it, before. Because chronological age, I can't stop it. It's not when, it's not, I cannot stop that, but I can help bring back the clock for the biological age. We create a whole care plan, aging plan, where you're going to age, how you're going to age, and how much is that going to cost. We look at the chronic disease, whatever that person is dealing with now, and we go to the source. And how can we slow down the progression of that chronic disease? And so when we can slow down the progression of the disease, like Parkinson's, MS, ALS, we can neurological disease, Alzheimer's, dementia. If we can slow down the progression of the disease, we can give that person a more quality of life. And we are available 24/7 for support for the family anytime. We also have our holistic aging care. That is for the person who actually need care right now. On top of the care that they need now, we add our longevity vitality program to our standard. The standard of care that people are offering right now, we do a standard plus. And with the standard plus is the standard plus our longevity vitality program. So we can help older adults to age gracefully, live out loud for as long, keep them independently as long as possible, and age with dignity. And so that's our plan and that's our mission. And now, if anybody have any questions, I'm open. And I want to offer anyone who wants to who have more questions, who wants to uh, about the topic, I'm open to dialogue, answer any questions, or anything that I've said that you feel that I can clarify.
Yeah. So Emma, hey, this is Chris here. I just, I think you did touch on this, but just in thinking about, for the agents on the call, if they have clients that they're, that are interested in this kind of care, exploring this. I mean, could you just talk a little more about kind of, how to get the well, there you go, the what's next. I saw that slide come up. So what's the best way to kind of, just start that process in terms of, whether it's both talking to the agents and then, I think so there's sort of two layers to it, having a dialogue with an agent and then obviously then talking to a client of the agents and bringing them on board.
Yes, the best way would be for the agent to start with me, having a dialogue with me. So I'm offering an opportunity for agents to book a call with me so we can start the dialogue, so we can start talking about what the need is. Each agent might have their specific needs, and so we can see the need. We can talk about the need of their clients, and then we can customize whatever the service that we can customize with them for their clients specifically.
Great. And there's a question that I think kind of sort of feeds into that point you just made. So the question is, plan pricing based on the needs of the aging parent, or is there set pricing?
So there is set pricing. So I'm gonna go back to my slide here. It all depends what the person need when they need it. So for anyone who are not having any health issues, well, they don't need care right now. They don't need care, but they are aging. They're 70, 80. This is the plan that I offer with the set price. Set price. Anybody who needs care, I offer this, which is the standard plus. But the price will depend on how many hours of care that they need. That's the only thing that would make it different.
Okay. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. And question: does long-term care insurance cover your services?
Yes, yep. Long-term care insurance cover my services, depending on it all depends what their policy is. So they may not cover all of my care.
Okay.
Yeah, so they might cover like $100 or $100 per day for home care, and some of them even cover care management, so where they can get that. So not all of them. It all depends. So which means the client might have some out of pocket.
Okay, good. And then here's another question: is like regarding doctor's appointments. Will you drive the client to the appointment and get a summary of the appointment to share with loved ones?
Oh yes. So the way care management works is that we manage the medication. We help manage medication. We manage doctor's appointment. We in communication with family members. What we do after we do an assessment with a client, the next step is we sit down with the family and the client, and we discuss our findings, our recommendations, and implementations. And so we do that and then communicate, and then we keep reassessing. Every 3 months, we assess, and we communicate with the family. We have a whole protocol how we communicate with families on a regular basis, depending where the family is. Some families are close by, some families are not close. And so if they're out of state, they're not living together. So we have set communication programs. Yes.
Okay, great. And then there's another question, is sort of specific to the transportation. Is that part of the plan?
Yes, transportation. Yes, it is. Transportation, either if the person needs to go to the doctor or wherever, to church, wherever they need. Our goal is to get them out of the house if they need to. So yes, we do.
Great.
Assist with that.
And then there's one more question. Good question here is what's the geographic area you serve? I mean, can you help people really all across the country?
I do. Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, this is really great. I mean, you guys, I guess two things, I mean, that jump out. I mean, going through hearing what you're talking about, Emma, there's so many needs, that our aging population, have. And the other thing is that, what you guys are doing there, really, you do so much to help meet those needs. It's
Yeah.
really phenomenal
Quality,
service.
quality care,
Yeah.
quality care.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, that's fantastic. I mean, and I guess, just a couple closing thoughts from me. Reach out to Emma, to talk through kind of how you can onboard. I would say, a great place to start for any agents on the call that want to kind of see how this works is call us here at NFI. There's a number there, 952-887-1239. We can then get you connected with Emma. But I also think in talking to us, the topic came up about, does long-term care insurance cover this? So I think, where we can, it's a great partnership with, what Emma's doing, and what we can do here at NFI is help you agents, look at a solution like Emma's, but then also, look at maybe some other products that can help cover the cost. And there's a bunch of interesting products out there that really do address long-term care
Needs.
cost. So I think they're discussion that should probably be had together, right? Looking at a solution like Emma's,
Yes.
and providing that type of care, but then also, to figure out what's the best, most efficient way to look at covering the cost, and to look at products in the, that are available to your clients. And we're here at NFI happy to obviously help you kind of understand the different products that are available. Before I close, any kind of closing comments from you, Emma? Again, thank you so much for joining us.
No, yeah, the only thing I would say is this kind of care is planning. This kind of quality care, the only way we could do it is by planning ahead. So if the agents are looking to help families, the best way you can help families is to start to talk about this early. Because most people want to wait until something happen. And when you wait and something happen, it costs more.
Right. No, 100%. Yep. It's out. Definitely with anything in our world in this year in the insurance space. I mean, the more we can plan ahead, really, the better equipped we are, and we can help our clients, better, really tackle any issues if we have a good plan in place. So that's
Yeah.
what
And this
I
is a
love
big
about what you're
problem.
doing.
It's not gonna go away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. There's going to be, I think there's just more and more need, really, growing daily. So I think for agents on the call, as another, I think, key takeaway is, there's a really valuable service you can provide as an agent, to your clients by connecting them with gentle care, gentle shepherd care, and also connecting them with the right types of products that you can get, talk to us here at NFI about, and how we can help you with that. So, again, thank you so much, Emma. Really awesome stuff. Really fantastic program you guys have there. Agents, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully there was some valuable information here. And really, again, like Emma and I said, kick this off, have a conversation, give us a call, and we can get the conversation started. So thanks, Emma. Thanks, everybody,
Thank you,
for joining
Chris.
us. We'll
Thank
talk to
you.
you all again. Yep. All right. Have a good day.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye. Mhm.